So there has been a lot of new information around the new GPT 5.5 Pro or the new GPT 6, or as some people would call it, GPT Spud. Now, this is OpenAI's next model, and I've found a lot of new information that I want to share with you all in this video. So let's talk about it. So firstly, what I'm going to do is show you guys a few clips that I found that actually showcase Greg Brockman talking about many different things on the model. And this isn't like clickbait or, him just vaguely speaking. He's actually talking in some decent detail about what the model will be able to do. So take a listen to this first clip and then we can get onto the second one. And later on in the video, I'll be showing you guys some actual leaks of the outputs from the model itself.
And the AI doesn't quite get it. It's always so disappointing, right? We have to explain. So what do you think it'll be able to do that today's models can't? So I think it's going to be able to solve both much harder problems. I think it will be much more nuanced. It'll understand instructions better. It'll understand the context much better. That there's this thing called big model smell that people talk about, where it's just there's something about when these models are just actually just much smarter, much more capable, that they bend to you much more and you feel it, right? When you ask a question and the AI doesn't quite get it, it's always so disappointing. Right? We have to explain, and you're just you really should be able to figure this out. And so I would just think of it as, in some ways, just qualitatively, there will be, but quantitatively, lots of shifts, right? And qualitatively, there will just be new things where you would be frustrated before, you never used an AI for it, and now you just use it without thinking very much. And I think that is what we're going to see across the board. I'm super excited to see how it raises the ceiling. Right? We've already seen these physics applications, things like that. And I think we will be able to just solve way more open-ended problems, way longer time horizons. And then also very excited to see how it raises the floor, where just for anything you want to do, it's just so much more useful for you.
In this next clip, they actually talk about the fact that they worked on this for a solid 2 years. So it is super interesting to see what comes, because that means they pre-trained an entirely new model, it's entirely new base. So it's quite likely not just going to be, a smaller distillation from a different model or just a, small change. I do think that this will be a step change in capabilities, meaning that you probably will be able to do things that you just weren't able to do. And I will actually show you guys some of the suspected benchmarks later, but take a look at this, okay? 2 years of work. That is pretty crazy when you think about the amount of time that is in the AI space. That's a long time.
So I think of Spud as a new base, as a new pre-train, and that we have had this, I'd say it's we have maybe 2 years worth of research that is coming to fruition in this model. It's going to be very exciting. And I think that the way that the world will experience it is just improved capabilities. And that for me, it's never about any one release, because as soon as we have this one release, it'll be an early version of what we have coming. We'll do much more of each of these steps of the improvement process. And so I think that where we're going is almost just, we have this engine of progress that just moves faster and faster. And the Spud is just one.
And so here's where we actually get the first piece of information from someone that has actually spoke to people who are using the model. So this is first-hand information. We know that this isn't just purely speculative news. It's actually about individuals who have used it. So take a listen to this one, because this one is super interesting.
5.4, I think 5.5 or Spud, whatever we're going to call it, it's going to be an even faster ramp.
Have you seen Spud? Have you used it? Have you gotten a preview?
People are using Spud, right? So
Okay.
it is being previewed. And so
you're talking to people who've used it, and what are they telling you?
they're telling us that it's an incredible model on par with Mythos, right? And that it's a very usable model in terms of how it's packaged.
Now, of course, we saw in that clip, they were stating that this could be just as good as Mythos. So what I wanted to do was take a little bit of a look at the current AI benchmarks and see just how far behind GPT-5 is compared to Opus 4.7. And in a moment, I'll show you guys some of the actual outputs from the model that have been somewhat leaked in sort of early testing. So when we look at the benchmarks right now, you can see that Opus 4.7 compared to GPT 5.0 Pro, there isn't that big of a difference quantitatively speaking. I mean, just by looking at the numbers, I've decided to highlight each area so that it's much easier to see where each model wins. And honestly, it doesn't seem that crazy when we look at each area. Now, I will say this, the benchmarks have been getting saturated again and again. And of course, that is factoring in here. And some people could argue that, of course, Opus 4.7 or 4.6 when it comes to coding, it is just a completely different level. And I do completely understand that. But what I will say that the gap isn't as far as people may think. Just because Anthropic is currently in the lead, it doesn't mean that they will stay there forever. We've seen Anthropic take the lead from OpenAI, so it wouldn't be wild to say that OpenAI could take back the lead from Anthropic, provided they have trained the model in the way that they need to. Now, if you're wondering about what the expected results are, I did a bit of research, and here is what the expected results are based on just the current trajectory of current AI models if it were to surpass, the Opus 4.7 variant that was recently released. And I mean, of course, I will say that this is not confirmed. This is just what is expected in terms of where I expect the model to be. And it just shows the progression from GPT 5.2 all the way to GPT 5.5. Of course, this could be overestimating, underestimating. Maybe there's going to be different benchmarks that they do test. But overall, this is genuinely what I expect. Nothing crazy, but maybe like a 10 to 15% jump across the board, enough to not only surpass their previous results by a decent amount, enough to also beat Opus in several different areas. And I know that that might seem like a stretch now, but it's always a stretch until it does occur. And so if we do take a look at where the SPUD is expected versus Mythos, those expected versions would actually basically be on par with Mythos or surpass it in certain areas, which would actually once again put OpenAI back in the lead. So it would be super interesting to see how that does come out. Now, one thing that I quickly do want to talk about this model, the GPT 5.5 model, is that potentially it does have the ability to be natively multimodal. So right now, when it comes to models, multimodality is basically a user interface lie. Most models run audio through a speech model, your image through a vision encoder, and then convert everything into text tokens. And then they just pray it works with the text output. Now, that of course is brittle, but some people are stating, and some leaks have said, that the model could be natively multimodal. Now, I don't think this is going to be true because I know that OpenAI previously kind of ditched the GPT 4.0 when we really were supposed to get a natively multimodal model. But it will be interesting to see those multimodal capabilities, which I will show you in a moment, just how much of an improvement that will be. Now, remember, OpenAI SPUD is essentially going to be a bigger model in terms of what it's able to do for you. So basically, what it will be doing is it's going to be an autonomous digital worker. So GPT 5.4 was essentially the first native computer use model, but it still kind of needs that supervision and is focused on coding. But SPUD, according to several leaks, is described as evolved, more autonomous computer use, focused on enterprise workflows and deep reasoning. And yeah, if you look at today's agents, they're basically a cursor with autocomplete. You tell it to do this, it kind of does it, but sometimes it makes mistakes. OpenAI are basically right now obsessed with the long context, native multimodal features and computer use. And so that's why I said that there is going to be some heavy multimodal features, because of course, if you want to make the agents good, they need to be able to see a screen. Of course, that needs to be there for the enterprise workflows, which we know OpenAI are 100% focusing on. And of course, they need to have that long-term planning, which is what agents are able to do if they're able to be an autonomous digital worker. And so if you actually want to take a look at how the model currently performs, you can take a look at some of these. So this is currently some of the stuff that literally just came out on Twitter. It is essentially some of the craziest stuff I've seen because the jumps are pretty substantial. It seems to be one-shotting many different applications. So you can see right here, Peter Gustev said the Pro model in ChatGPT does look like a real upgrade. Generations are 3 to 4 times faster and look a lot better. I wouldn't say it's a giant leap forward, but a material upgrade. Generations are richer with more detail and coherence. Considering that generations take like 20 minutes, I wonder if it becomes viable to include the Pro model inside Codex. The Pro mode is where they have a clear advantage versus Anthropic, who don't have an equivalent model. And they're kind of true about this because Anthropic has essentially ran out of compute. So everyone is currently getting throttled, and that isn't really great. But in this, example, we can see just how good the GPT 5.5 Pro is at one-shotting complete applications in whatever language. I'm not sure like what kind of framework they used, but you can see the side-by-side difference. So, I mean, it really is interesting to see just how much of an improvement it is. Now, we can also get onto these other areas. So this was tweeted by Leon Lin. I'm not entirely sure what this kind of game is, but from what I've seen, Previously, when you had these, short, quick HTML applications that people would quickly vibe code, oftentimes they would break. But I'm seeing just a lot more coherence in terms of what you're able to do here. And I think this stuff is really interesting because if OpenAI are able to bridge that coding gap, I'm not sure Anthropic are going to be as strong as they are. Now, don't get me wrong, Anthropic are, of course, a very strong company for a variety of reasons, which I'll talk about in another video. But I just think that coding was one of those areas that is very enterprise heavy, and many users do want to use the model for that. So if it's able to have that common sense reasoning and coding like we're seeing in these examples, then it does mean that it's quite likely that the model is going to be better than we do think. Here's another example tweeted by someone else. You can see here that this is something called Voxelcraft. They try to essentially make a Minecraft clone. And to my surprise, this looks pretty well. And people tend to do this every time a new model comes out, just to see how well it's able to craft things from scratch. And I do remember seeing that Opus 4.7 wasn't able to get it this good. So seeing it at this level so far gives me hope that GPT 5.5 Pro, GPT Spud, or GPT, whatever they're going to call it, is actually going to be something rather effective. So, I mean, this is one of the examples that you can see. I mean, of course, it's not like a crazy game, but at the same time, I still think that for it to be able to one-shot this, it is pretty crazy when you can think about it. Now, another thing that most people don't realize that is actually coming, and I didn't really see much people talking about this, is that GPT is going to get a new image model. So Images V2 on ChatGPT is probably going to launch this week, and it's really good, like arguably better than Nano Banana Pro in some edge cases. And the edge cases is where you really understand what the model is able to do. Now, the only thing here when it comes to edge cases that is kind of annoying is that edge cases aren't really your everyday use cases. So most people won't discover them. But when you're trying to do certain things, you'll be able to see those edge cases where the model just performs better. And I would argue that basically if the model has a better world model where it's able to know how the physics are, how shapes interact, how styles can be, zero shot, that is going to be something that is far more effective handling all of those edge cases. You can see here that you've got this GTA 5 style screenshot, which looks really on brand, a lot more high fidelity than the ones I've seen on Nano Banana Pro. We can also see another example here looking super amazing. Once again, we can see more images here. There isn't really that much of a difference from, Nano Banana Pro from what I've seen, but this one was super interesting. And I would say that if you have to take away something from Images V2, which will be shortly available, it's that Images V2 basically seems like it has better taste. So this was a prompt for a website that sells pink glittering fairy milk and deep blue cosmic milk, yada, yada, yada. And you can see here the one on the right is the new model, and it just looks so much better. So I would say, when we're looking at these different slides, you can see just how much of a qualitative difference it is when it comes to getting the art styles right and the edge cases right. And you can see here that this is a gameplay of a screenshot of a lion fighting against an NPC in San Andreas. On the left, GPT 5.1 image. On the right is, of course, the updated version. So you could argue it's basically like Nano Banana Pro, or better than Nano Banana Pro. We can also see what Nano Banana Pro was able to do here. And I mean, it's completely up to you. I mean, both styles look pretty good here. It is, at this point, basically a closed shut case that, AI image generation is pretty much solved at this point. With that being said, if you enjoyed the video, I'll see you guys in the next one.